great episode. We're going to talk to Florian about the National Truck of the Year. This is something based in Europe, but it does have some U.S. input. But before we get to that, let's talk a little about our industry update. I know people love this. I've been getting a lot of feedback about it. So let's just start with this. Everyone knows the Supreme Court overturned Trump's tariffs. Now, he's obviously reinstated. First, it was 10%, then at 15% across the board. But the individual countries that he had higher on, he's not able to reinstate it the current way he's doing it now. I'm sure they're looking at another way to do it. But in news, FedEx is seeking refunds on all their tariffs. I think that was new. I think they just sent it out yesterday. So I think that was very interesting. Winter storm is destroying the Northeast, and by the time this air, it should have passed. But we were basically filming this on February 24th, and the Northeast is blanketed. I still think they will still be recovering by 1 March from that. So I just wanted to make sure people are aware, and that's really affecting trucking as we see it now. Panama has taken control of two of C.K. Hutchinson's ports in Panama. There is more to come of that. That was based on a rule in the Panama court. I think there's a lot more to come from that and stuff. Something else I thought was interesting, we should point out, because I've used this company before, they made a send. InMotion Global has took over Load Pilot TMS, which I think is an interesting acquire. I am very high on InMotion Global because I use their product Ascend, which I was pretty high on. Now we're going to turn into truckload. People are expecting some recovery on the truckload market. Remember, we have about $3.5 million truck drivers in the U.S. today, and that number has not grown a ton. But we had over 7,000 of the nation's 17,000 schools cited for non-compliance. So there's 17,000 schools that you could go to get a CDL. 7,000 put out for non-compliance. So that means the pipeline, as it knows now, is going to shorten even more. So I think the carriers out there are looking for commitment, and the carriers themselves feel that we are going to have some type of recovery this year from the Great Freight Depression. I know some people think it will continue through the end of the year. I do not. I think you'll see recovery from it this year, and it will become the end of this long freight depression. In other news, Daimler Truck launched a Gen 6 Detroit engine to the U.S. market. There's a press release sent out about a week ago, and a couple of articles came out yesterday about it. This is fully compliant with all the EPA 2027 emission standards and is available across Freightliners and Western Star heavy-duty trucks. I think this news hit it, and apparently this Gen 6 engine should be amazing. It should be something that hits the market, and people will be very happy with it. So, in closing, snowstorm in the Northeast should have cleared up by 1 March, but I think the remnants of it will still be there. There is hope for the overall freight market. I think we'll have less people coming into the industry, and the market will tighten, I believe, by the middle of the year. So with those things said, let's get into the Hall of Fame episode with Florian, and welcome to the Hall of Fame. Welcome to the Hall of Fame podcast. We're excited. We're excited to have Florian Engel, the CEO of One Truck Media, on today, and he's also the chairman of the International Truck of the Year. I want to talk about that award. I want to talk about how we should have something similar, and I think we do in the U.S. And he's also going to talk about how the award came about and plenty of other questions about it. But Florian, why don't you start by telling us a little about One Truck Media, and then we can go into the International Truck of the Year.
Yeah. Very welcome from my side as well, and happy to be here and join you again. One Truck Media was founded exactly 10 years ago, as it is today, with the magazines and the online TV channel and all this social media stuff around. And kind of the spin-off in the US as well. So it's a long-lasting story already.
Uh-huh.
And I'm in this branch for 25 years now. I was editor-in-chief at another company before. So, fully packed with experience, so to say.
I like it. All right, good. And yes, obviously that led to One Truck US, which is a spinoff of it, which is here, which Manuel runs here, which is actually doing well, which is what started this podcast itself. So, yeah, great. Well, thanks. Well, all right, we're here to talk about this International Truck of the Year. So by all means, I mean, this has been 50 years of the International Truck of the Year. Could you please tell me a little bit about what that is, the awards?
Yeah, it's a huge history. You know, half a century of the most important truck award in the world. Maybe let's stick to the truth. Maybe of Europe, because it was mainly focused on Europe for let's say 40 years, and we started to expand all over the world within the last 10 years. But it started 50 years ago. A bunch of journalists in good old Europe decided. Like with the car of the year, to make something similar with the trucks. So they just founded the International Truck of the Year jury, and that was it. And the first truck of the year was a Sedan Atkinson made in Great Britain at that time. Doesn't exist anymore, but that's the way of life.
It happens. It happens. Things evolve. Things evolve. Okay. Well, before we go down some of the technical questions, I know you guys have first it started in Europe, but you guys have pulled some Americans into your jury for the decision. Can you talk a little bit about that? Who you've added, how many you've added, and how that process works?
Yes, as I said before, for the last 10 years, we are expanding to a truly international jury. We started with South Africa and Australia, New Zealand, even China. And finally, the big United States were missing. And with Joe Howard from Transport Topics, we found a very experienced and well-known guy in the US to promote the International Truck of the Year jury as well in your country. So
Perfect.
it's only one, as it is always like that. It's only one journalist per country. It's the same in Europe. So I'm not only the chairman, I'm also the one voting for Austria, not Australia in this case, just to be sure.
Yeah, Austria. Okay, great. Okay, well, all right, let's dig into this. So you've obviously seen these trucks for a very long time. What are the technical developments of the trucks over the past 5 decades that you've seen?
Oh, I would say that there were amazing steps. When you look at the very first truck of the year, the Sedan Atkinson, and then we make a big step forward, let's say to the 90s, 2000s, when the real safety aspects came into the cabs, like safety belts and airbags and all that stuff. So this was maybe one of the biggest first technical evolutions that came into the truck business. And later on, we are talking about for Europe. It's similar in the US. All the exhaust gas emission regulations, Euro 6, now Euro 7 pending. This was another big step forward on the emission side. And in the same time, it was really interesting to see fuel consumption dropping. Although the exhaust gas regulations normally would have raised the fuel consumption, the technicians made it happen to drop dramatically. So in the 25 years, for example, I'm driving trucks and doing the tests on pretty much the same road, like 500 kilometers. I don't know the miles, sorry. All through Austria, a very hilly one. We started with a fuel consumption of 35 liters of diesel with 40-ton trucks. And now the record is at 21-liter diesel per 100 kilometers. So it's an amazing drop. So that's, for me, definitely the biggest evolution in trucking on the conventional side. Yeah, and now for the last years, as you can also see in the Truck of the Year winners list, we have 3 electric trucks winning the International Truck of the Year. So we are very much in this transition phase already.
Okay, that was actually I was going to dig into. I noticed that the last 3 winners have been electric trucks. Do you want to expand on that a little, or is it just where the evolution is taking you?
Yeah, I think it's an evolution thing, and they are making so big progress in a very short time. As you know, battery technology, range, and weight at the same time. So they're really deserving it to be Truck of the Year. Okay. Although the diesel trucks still stand for 97 or even 98% of the sales. So it's
Yes.
we're just at the beginning, but
we're in the early stages.
At the
we're in the early stage of it. But yes, we have some right here. Tesla is pumping out some. There's a bunch of other companies pumping them out here in the US. So yes, okay. From the winners, what are the attributes, or how do they could contribute over the years in efficiency and increased comfort for the fleets? Because again, comfort is important to the drivers itself. So talk to me about that.
The comfort. I mean, it's a completely. Then we maybe pop into the next question already, because there are the big difference between European and US trucks. The size is one of the biggest differences. I mean, your trucks are like small flats you're driving around in. The Europeans are pretty compact, but Anyway, there have been in Europe again some length regulations now in the last few years. So we gained a little bit more space for the truckers. So on this side, comfort has improved. Then we have this. The new engines are really silent, so we have. The noise level is amazing. So that's the next comfort point. Automatic transmissions, super comfy, super easy to drive. And then we get closer and closer to autonomous driving. For the moment, automatic distance and lane keeping and all that stuff. But for some seconds you can let loose of the steering wheel already. So that's the next big step in comfort.
Autonomous is we have actually had some autonomous. We had Ease Logistics and some others on. We have another one I'm working on now to come on. So autonomous is something big that's playing here that I know people are actually digging into. So tell me, what are the preferences for the fleet owners? What are some of the preferences you're seeing that the fleet owners are pushing?
Yeah, of course, as you know, the economics are getting more difficult. So one of the big drivers are the costs, of course. So fuel consumption definitely rules when it comes to the decision making of fleet owners, I would say.
Okay, all right. So let me ask you a question. When is the International Truck of the Year awarded, and when is the nomination? Is it a nomination process, or how does it work? So we're in a new year, 2026. Walk me through how that process works for 2026.
2026 we voted already in 2025, so it's always in advance. So we have already started the process for the 2027 voting. Because the award ceremony will be at the IAA in Hanover in Germany this year. So normally at the time when we elected the Truck of the Year 2026, the process starts already for 2027. So there are, let's say, 2 or 3 main rules. So the truck has to be in production, it has to be new, of course, and it has to be on the market and the first unit sold. So that's the main criteria to be a possible candidate. And the next step is that most of our jury members have to drive the trucks so that we can experience them, and then we can compare and judge and feel and drive the innovations they are producing or putting to market with the new models. Okay,
I like it. Well, go ahead.
Sorry. And as closer as we get to the voting day, the more intense also the discussions within the jury are getting some preferences, especially in the last years, as we were talking about diesel and electric. Also the diesel trucks are getting better and better, and the electric trucks are getting better and better. So it's especially for 2026, it was a tight race between the MAN D30 engine, a diesel engine, and the final winner, the DAF XD and XF electric. So still diesel plays a very big role in the market, and also for the Truck of the Year jury.
All right. Well, I like it. Well, in closing, what would you like us to know about the International Truck of the Year that maybe our audience being mostly United States based, What in closing do you think they should know about the Truck of the Year itself?
Yeah, maybe one thing that's really interesting for the US, but I don't want to spoil too much. But maybe we will see in the near future North American Truck of the Year to be in place as we have South American Truck of the Year, Chinese Truck of the Year, an Australasian Truck of the Year already. So the North American Truck of the Year is still missing, but maybe in the near future we will see that as well.
All right, I'm looking forward to that. It could be coming. A North American Truck of the Year that would be great. Well, Florian, thank you for taking the time to be on the Hall of Fame today, and I'm looking forward to this episode. It will air on the 1st of March. So that's all I have.